know what he said. Don't worry about it.
It's dead, buried today. You like, what? Dang.
He said, just move on.
And then, like, one time they were saying, like, hey, man, your mom was looking for you, something like that. And then he looked up and said, who is my mother and my father? Dang.
Was this when he was 12?
No, he was grown. He was grown, yeah.
And that's
He was
another.
like, yo, man, your people, he was like, who is but he was separated. He would say things to grab your attention, to jerk you into, like, he would really jerk you to where he was. Because he also tell people, he said, hey, man, you two come up here where I am. But in this human experience, because at the same time we can't walk the earth like Jesus. He literally was God in the flesh. So, but he told us to strive to do that, and we have a path and a way through the Word of God and the Spirit to do it, where we can be jerked out of this experience by walking in the Spirit and navigate life differently. That's why I believe that his experience was full of miracles and things that we're not necessarily going to see. I know it says we'll do greater works, but there are also things that we're not going to do because it literally showed him being God. Like, I don't think nobody's ever going to be able. Well, when she got back, I kind of corrected me that because I think it was who prayed that the son. I think it was David. David prayed that the day would last long. Either David or Joshua, one of them prayed
The
that.
Psalms.
I think it's Joshua, or it could be David, where one of them prayed that the sun would stay, so they could complete the battle, so they could win the war. And then when they prayed that prayer, God extended daylight.
It was Joshua.
Man, it's crazy. He extended daylight.
Yeah, it was
You know?
Joshua.
but there are things that Jesus did that would not. You ain't gonna see nobody walk on water. You're not gonna see no.
Yeah, because he really was the perfect woman. I mean,
You're not gonna see nobody. There's some stuff that manipulate, like it was strategic in what it was and things like that. But we have instances where people have done, because that's where God and miraculous things. You know, Moses parting the Red Sea or standing in the sun. You know, healings take place. But
because
all of it points
Muhammad
to
wasn't doing that.
no. But all of it points to him, because he embodied that and all that. But it was even more than that. You know, he's the greatest miracle that he's done is the fact that we can be forgiven. Like I just read the scripture, I can't get over it. It's in Philippians, I think, where it talks about. It's just a quick scripture, but it's full of information. It just talks clearly, it just simply puts that we were not saved of any goodness of our own.
Right.
It's not by works we are saved. But then later on it says that this gift that was given to you, that you didn't work for it didn't happen when you realized it. It happened through Jesus Christ before the beginning. like you had this before earth was thought up, before you were thought of. So you were saved then. Now you're acknowledging the gift that God gave through Jesus Christ, which before the beginning was. And that has been messing with my brain. Like, wait a minute, this was decided before I was aware. Like sometimes we get so caught in this timeline. God, like what is a timeline to time? I don't even know what that is. I'm just a time. So that's the thing that's crazy. That's what I'm focusing. But anyway, just trust God. Do you? We love you around, because you only get one time around the sun, right? And the one thing we don't know is when we're gonna leave it. Something unless you decide that, like
That's what I'm saying.
or whatever.
Problem is, I'm okay with what I'm doing. That's what I said. I'm not. You know, I hit a period where it was like, hey, I'm alright.
It's not problematic necessarily, but but just know you.
It's more so I see it. That's what
you only have one life, so you should.
I went from denying it to where it's like I'm aware.
Now you're like,
and now it's like,
I'm cool.
And I've been aware for a little minute, and now it's like, but if I really do, because, like I said, I remember even I would even talk. I would even talk to you sometimes. You didn't know that I was thinking like this, but I would talk to you like this summer or something like that. And I would be like where my mind was starting to think like what, like certain things where I'm like, is something wrong with me to where like, why am I the only one that doesn't see like, you know, like one of the few friends I had was going this whole like
they do something
marriage and stuff like that, Yeah, that's why I was like, huh?
Because they literally are at the end of the driveway. They're working. They're working right now. The big crane. If you look outside, look at it is at the end of the driveways where they really digging and getting it in.
That's horrible. But I remember basically being like over the summer being like, man, like am I actually the one acting out of character? Because like to so many other people, this is a great trajectory. Find somebody that you like. Now you just work on it and move on, or the goals aren't that big, or it's just we'll work on it together. Even Nelson says if anybody else had her, they had a type of relationship we had, it was never problematic. So it's just like, am I tripping?
Not them though.
Am I? Yeah, and that's why I'm starting to.
But you're not them.
I'm just like, what is going on with me?
But you're
maybe I'm just
your purpose
on a different purpose and path. That's what it is. And then it was like
it would fit.
I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't want to fit. It would, and also when that happens, it fits. It would fit.
Oh yeah.
It like fit like in your like for real in your spirit.
Yeah. But yeah, I was talking to mom, and I'm telling you the same thing. If I really, because I think the difference that it's even just because in my perfect scheme for Desire to Make It is like my problem is with the orders. I'm only making so much profit, and I'm literally making a whole Excel sheet where it's like I'm looking at the profit margin, and what I'm doing that because it takes a certain amount to make it, but I don't want to charge that right now because you know what I'm saying. It's harder to get people to purchase, especially within the situation as they're still in college or whatever the case may be. Especially so, the only thing to do is just to get more people in. Because if you have more people in, then you would,
Right.
And then that's when we do things like having people involved, endorsement, all that stuff. But then how Desire to Make It works as a whole in my head from way back when is I am the endorsement.
Right.
So now it's like it's rare that you have the talent that also creates the product. Like usually they're not the same people, you know what I'm saying? But because I literally can do both and do it well, it's like now it's a brand alone, but now eventually you're gonna just support the brand because you associate it with the art or the person, whatever. And then that's me. So now it's like if I do the things I'm supposed to do, then it's gonna be tied to me through association. So it's kind of like, it's like, kind of like the reason why Kanye was so successful with his Yeezys is because it was still Kanye West.
Right.
Then he also has shoes that stand alone, work good.
Right.
So it's like now you have your shoes that are good. Then you also have Kanye.
Right.
And then Kanye stopped making music. So let's just say Kanye was doing this during college, dropout Kanye.
Right.
Then it would be like, or if Drake did, you know what I'm saying?
Son, you have to explain.
I'm not saying I'm Kanye, but I'm not trying to say this.
No, you're not, because you're you, and Kanye's not you. So it's really no comparison.
I don't want to be Kanye.
No, I'm just saying you're not. But the greatest example I can show, I understand. The greatest example of that is Michael Jordan. So.
Yeah, but imagine Michael Jordan made Nike, like for real, like he made Nike. Then that's that's a whole. It's like okay,
right.
That's how, and that's just in one sector. But then it's like
Shaq is a good example of that too.
And then it's like
he used to.
Oh yeah, Shaq.
Just from, but I know just.
But that's just one thing.
Yeah.
And then even I'm thinking about engineering. I'm just like, because I remember Monson a long time ago. She told me that she thinks that whenever it makes sense, where it clicks, it's like she thinks my creative stuff is gonna click with the engineering. Then I can start doing some stuff like that.
Right.
And I believe that too, because
I believe that.
I thought that was confirmation from y'all, because it was, I guess in my head, I was a knowledge engineer for a long time. I remember my whole senior year, they kept telling me that. You remember when to get to college, they're like, why don't you do engineering? I was like, what? That's a little hard. Nah, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I look at the medicine route too. I'm just like, man, I'm pretty personal. I was like, I wish I could get to be able to talk to, the worst part about engineering is I can't talk to nobody. Like, it's going to be like a very, like, I'm only talking to people that I need to talk to. I'm not, as a doctor, you're talking to any, you're talking to people that have no idea what they're doing.
Not necessarily. You can break the mold just because it says.
I'll have to start my own thing. I'll be like Bill Nye, start something else. And that's what made Bill Nye so cool. This man's a son. He got nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's just chilling.
Let me check my phone. Probably. Okay.
I gotta figure out what to wear. Is it cold outside? Man, I'm trying to tell you, bruh. Desire to Make It can do something.
customer.
Nasty little bit of color on. I was looking crazy. Ain't no filthy rapper rapping, I just did it. I think I see little red, I got home. shit is. I can lie. I can inside. I'm trying to make I gotta figure out my goal, bruh. Like, money is not the Lord over me. Money is not the main thing that I need in this life. But I would be lying to you if I said money wasn't worth nothing. So with that being said, right, when I have the money, all this stuff will be addressed and dealt with and all that. You know what I'm saying? So another I think it might be wise for us people I'm tired of typing, not gonna lie, that's the most I've typed. But another thing that I've also peeped is like, whenever we're talking to other people, right? Do you remember how, dang, I'm not gonna lie, bruh. What was I saying? Disney, working, Disney mouse, band, stuff like that. Sorry, I'm tired of typing. That was a lot. One thing that I've also noticed with the Disney company recently is when we were talking about my friends and I was saying how they got lucky. Bro, they didn't just get lucky, they literally got hired after COVID. And I remember even saying like how like after COVID, it just makes sense. A lot of people were at the company and they were finally starting to put their boots up. Like them niggas been working for like 30 years, 50 years. Something new was needed, an opportunity was needed, and that's whenever our opportunities came. I think there was that window where they're giving people a chance, and now that window is slightly closed, or just harder to get into. Like even me, like the fact they're telling me I gotta go through a whole daggone Disney pitch competition to get looked at by an engineer. Why do I have to beat all these niggas just to get a job? When in the past people were walked in, and regardless, that's our story, and I think we're looking at a different game. So with that being said, like I said, I think that maybe, I mean, you love Fast and the Furious anyway, like maybe we gotta look at those options. Business management rules for Universal.
Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
Absolutely. I feel like that is less where you are now. Tell me about letting go or moving away from that approach to the world.
As I've gotten older, I've become more concerned with finding my voice and finding the way I want to move as an artist. And I think I'm much more averse to mimicry or anything that feels derivative than I was in the past. I think I was so determined to achieve a certain thing and land in a certain place that maybe the spot I wanted to land in my head wasn't as nuanced as it is now. And I think that individuality is what appeals to me more, which is maybe why I'm willing to make a project like Jackman and Monica, which, you know, have their own qualities of influence, but I'm looking to carve out my own island, and I'm less concerned with how immediately big I can make that island. So I think early in my career, I was split between, do I want to be an entertainer or an artist? Do I want to be a celebrity or an artist? I have now chosen artist. So I'm focusing on the artistry. And if that means suddenly we intertwine celebrity and entertainer back into that, that's wonderful. I think naturally that can happen. I'd like to think I can do that. But I just became interested in saying, okay, what if I'm a little less self-indulgent? Especially because I know that's a little closer to the person I like to be. You run into someone, it's nice to know that your art doesn't feel like that much of a departure. And I go by my government name. I mean, my entire career path is me been trying to get closer and closer to capturing who I actually am.
You were on a very Drake path for a while.
Yeah, School of Drake, absolutely.
I feel like that is less where you are now. Tell me about letting go or moving away from that approach to the world.
As I've gotten older, I've become more concerned with finding my voice and finding the way I want to move as an artist. And I think I'm much more averse to mimicry or anything that feels derivative than I was in the past. I think I was so determined to achieve a certain thing and land in a certain place that maybe the spot I wanted to land in my head wasn't as nuanced as it is now. And I think that individuality is what appeals to me more, which is maybe why I'm willing to make a project like Jackman and Monica, which, you know, have their own qualities of influence, but I'm looking to carve out my own island, and I'm less concerned with how immediately big I can make that island. So I think early in my career, I was split between, do I want to be an entertainer or an artist? Do I want to be a celebrity or an artist? I have now chosen artist. So I'm focusing on the artistry. And if that means suddenly we intertwine celebrity and entertainer back into that, that's wonderful. I think naturally that can happen. I'd like to think I can do that. But I just became interested in saying, okay, what if I'm a little less self-indulgent? Especially because I know that's a little closer to the person I like to be. You run into someone, it's nice to know that your art doesn't feel like that much of a departure. And I go by my government name. I mean, my entire career path is me been trying to get closer and closer to capturing who I actually am.
You were on a very Drake path for a while.
Yeah, School of Drake, absolutely.
I feel like that is less where you are now. Tell me about letting go or moving away from that approach to the world.
As I've gotten older, I've become more concerned with finding my voice and finding the way I want to move as an artist. And I think I'm much more averse to mimicry or anything that feels derivative than I was in the past. I think I was so determined to
told her. I felt like I disrespected you. I told her.
And kept doing it.
Listen.
So Austin from Love Island Season 7 recently revealed to TMZ that he did relapse while he was filming the spin-off Beyond the Villa. He said production didn't know what was going on, he hid it as best as he could, and he tried not to film as often as possible so that nobody would know.
You're throwing me in a class with
Taking potatoes may feed my body, but a Bronco feed my soul. Taking potatoes may feed my that I wasn't.
Alright, y'all. I was telling my cousin she got some old ass hands for her age. So I want y'all to take a guess how old these hands is. Alright? We're taking a poll. How old does these hands look? Alright, y'all. I was telling my cousin.
Hey, Dan here from Stepper. Look, just like stair climbing hadn't been shaken up in decades, baking hadn't either. Then we found Mercury. We needed something fast.
Maybe I should just stop holding on to this, cause the more that you resist and the more I miss you. Send a kiss every time I reminisce. Is it wrong if I wanna be wrong? Holding out hope, hoping if it exists, wondering if it's just me. You'll find trouble if you wait for me. Won't be long before I break that heart you gave so easily. My hand won't. It's almost over, so move along. Just be careful what you tell me.
Maybe some Sicily's pieces. You know, she came in here and ate this box before all this.
All of my friends tell me I tend to come on way too strong, way too fast, and way too gone. All of my friends say I keep falling in love way too often.
You know the application I was telling you about that was perfect for Nilsson? The application for some reason closed like early. And Nilsson like, you know, she's trying not to be like upset about it or whatever. But I just like she texted me about it, I just happened to call. She was very upset, obviously. And like I said, we already established that boundary, like relationship and stuff like that. But she was upset about it. And crying and stuff like that. What?
I'm listening to
I
you.
was like, damn. And you know, I was kind of upset. Like I was personally upset too. I'm like, man, like y'all messing up. Like this is.
They
It was only open for 3 days. That's not even normal.
Did she reach out to him?
You know, she tried. But that's the thing. Like, it's like you trying to like this ain't no job, mom. So,
I know.
Like, this is busy. So it's like this is a process. So I helped her looking stuff up and stuff and calling people and you know. So the best for her to keep like loading it and stuff like that and stuff. And she appreciated obviously like being there. But I wasn't there the whole time. I was like, yeah, you know, of course I'll be here. But after that, so I gotta go. So, but she you know, that's a lot for her. I pray and hope that they're able to get her on, because again, I do feel like that's.
Well, the thing about it is, honestly, if it doesn't open, that means it's just not for her at this time. That's all. That means,
I mean, yeah,
that
she
means
knows that.
that means it's just something else.